So another impressive performance from the defending champions Gujarat Titans as they have defeated Delhi Capitals at their home by a comfortable six-wicket margin. And we'll discuss this match. Welcome to this post-match show. I'm Shubhayan Chakraborty, joined by Rajaraman and Bharat. We'll be shortly joined by Rohan Chaudhary as well, who is currently trying to get his camera angles right. Here he is. But Rajaraman sir, let's start with Gujarat Titans. Sorry, but what do you think is going absolutely spot on for Hardik Pandya and company? They are like looking like a winning machine again.
No, I think you have to go back to the auction last year and even this year. When
Right,
you get that strategy right, you've got a winning combination. After that, you
right,
just have to play some smart cricket, and I think they've played some excellent cricket. They have a man for the hour. Every time they've needed somebody, someone's put his hand up and then performed. You got to see that again today. Look at Sai Sudarshan and how he played a very smart innings to see the side home. I think they have got people, they have got the ammunition, they've given them the freedom to express themselves. I think they are a happy unit. Typically, people will say that you journalists always say a winning team is a happy unit, but you can actually see that they are enjoying their cricket and that radiates on the field as well, Shubham.
right.
And who's gonna stop Gujarat Titans? They are they have that
I think
momentum.
they will have to stop themselves at some point of time. They're so good aside that they're bound to have an off day. But to be winning so
Right.
many games, I think it's going to be difficult to stop Gujarat Titans. They have the side, they have the attitude, and I think they go out to the field basically to enjoy themselves, not so much to win the game. Of course, a victory is paramount, but I think they enjoy themselves the most.
Absolutely. Bharat, coming to you, at this the pitch report was that the pitch was flat. We expected a score of 170, 75 plus 180. So, do you think DC's batting did not match the expectations, and it was not a defendable title at all? Your thoughts on DC's
See,
batting?
there is a bit of low bounce for sure, which you could see when a couple of batters chopped a couple of deliveries on the stumps. That's usually an indicator that the ball is staying low. I don't think it was exactly. It was really flat track, like Finn said. There was a little bit in it because the ball was staying low. In that sense, once a score of around 175, something like that, would have been a good score. But again, as we saw, the humidity was 55 to 60% today. So there's a little bit of dew perhaps as the match progressed. That also didn't exactly help DC. But credit goes to GT, Rashid Khan, Alzari Joseph, bowled really quick, tall bowler. As I noted once that is that one West Indian bowler in the present time, so makes you remember West Indies fast bowling of old. Obviously, one fast bowler plays for England. So whatever it is, but he's that one fast bowler makes you remember West Indies fast bowlers of old. So a lot of credit has to go to GT for ensuring that DC were restricted to a score of around 160.
Rajaraman, back-to-back defeats for Delhi Capitals. Their top order, although it looks really good on paper, with the likes of Prithvi Shaw and Mitchell Marsh as an opener and at number three, but those two specifically haven't been able to get going in this tournament so far. Do you think that has become a sort of an Achilles heel for Delhi Capitals?
At the back of their mind, Ricky Ponting and company will start wondering. But it is early days, Shubhayan.
Right,
If they're going to hack and change at this point of time, then it is panic in the ranks. I don't think they will want to set that. They will want the dressing room to believe that the coaches have already hit the panic button. So, but I think give credit to Mohammad Shami. I think he
wow,
priced them out both. He was outstanding with the new ball, like he always more or less is. Then, as Bharat pointed out, there was very good bowling from Alzari Joseph and backed up by some wonderful spin from Rashid Khan. I think when you are up against a bowling unit that is coming at you constantly and is nibbling away, taking wickets, it's going to be difficult to score runs. I think this is the standout feature of the Gujarat Titans side. they have the bowlers who pick up wickets frequently, and that puts the other teams under tremendous pressure.
Yeah. Bharat,
Just
coming to
want to
you.
add one more point. If you
Yeah.
notice, Delhi Capitals, they played the first match they played. The track was slightly too paced, and today too there was a little
Mm.
bit of low bounce. Looking at the batting lineup, Priti Shaw, someone who likes to play on the up. Mitchell Marsh likes to play on the up. Sarfraz Khan and the shot maker. All these players, looking at their batting lineup, they perhaps would like a pitch where the ball comes on the bat. They have not got such conditions so far. That also could be playing a part. In addition
I
to
think
DC's batting lineup not really coming good.
Right,
I think Bharat is making a fair point, but look
right,
at how Sarfraz adapted himself to the conditions. He played a very uncharacteristic knock.
right,
I think that is what you would expect from players of the caliber of Mitch Marsh and Prithvi Shaw, that you gauge the pitch. Don't say this is the way I will play my innings. Find out what the track has got to offer. Find out what the opposition is bowling, and then play your shots. I think they. But credit to Mohammad Shami. I think those two wickets
sure,
entirely to Mohammad Shami. And then you have to play some smart cricket. You have to assess the pitch. It is not a 180 track. So if it's a 160 track, try and push the score to 170. I think that is where Delhi Capitals failed. Without Akshar Patel's contribution, they would have had a smaller total to defend. But I think that was a critical part of the Delhi Capitals outlook tonight.
and Rajaraman sir, I have been going through the Twitter feed now, and everyone is blaming Sarfaraz for playing that slowish kind of knock, but that has to be like we have to take a note of those quick three wickets that fell. Prithvi Shaw, then Mitchell Marsh, and then Riley Russo for Duck as well. So I think that also played a role in Sarfaraz trying to play a bit cautious and keeping a hold of his wicket.
So I think somebody has to play smart. David
Right,
Warner is the sort of player who likes to attack all the time. So are Prithvi Shaw and Mitch Marsh. But
right,
when you see wickets falling at the other end, somebody has to hold the innings together. I think Sarfraz played a smart knock today. Um, I don't want to swim against the tide because I like doing it, but you have to give the devil its due. Sarfraz played a
right,
smart innings today under tremendous pressure, 2 wickets, and then he saw then he saw the fall of the captain as well. Not
right.
too um, long after the first 2 wickets fell. There was a small partnership, all
True.
right, but he saw the captain fall, and then he had to play that holding knock. I mean,
Right.
uh, my heart reaches out to him for all the trolling that he's had to undergo. But this was the kind of track where somebody had to play this innings, and credit to him because he assessed the track better than everybody else.
Yeah. And as we talk about Sarfaraz, let's also talk about Akshay Patel, and he has developed this habit of performing when the top order is not performing. We have seen it in the recent series also for Indian team. Thoughts on Akshay Patel,
Yeah.
Bharat?
Seems he's someone who I think he's improved his batting really well. He judges the length nicely, and yes, he has the temperament. And especially he seems to have the game for tracks that where the bounce is slightly low. We saw it in Bangladesh as well in the second innings. He was judging the length nicely. He was able to play back. He was able to use the crease nicely. And again against Australia, he did that in Delhi, and again in Delhi, Arun Jaitley Stadium, he's basically done the same. So seems to have the game for these sort of pitches, and obviously he has the temperament as well. So without his contribution, obviously, yes, as I said, without his contribution, they wouldn't have got to even 160 odd. They might have finished with 130 or whatever.
Absolutely, like important 36 of 22. Really great knock. Yes, Shubhan.
And like we have praised Hardik Pandya, the captain, a lot in the last few days. But today, especially the thing I noted, he held back Rashid Khan. Kept used him straight at the 12th over. If I'm right, and then bowled his 4 overs. straight away. Rajaraman, when you have a weapon like Rashid Khan, I'll term him as a weapon. When you have a weapon like Rashid Khan, how tough is it to not give him the ball when you see a Rashid Khan fielding at mid wicket, cow corner, long on, and he hasn't bowled a single over so far. How tough is it to not give the ball earlier to Rashid Khan, and how good is that guy with the ball? Again, 3 wickets, just 30 odd runs in 4 overs. He just keeps on delivering.
Shubhayan, I don't know if it is difficult. I think it's easy to hold him back. When you have an attack that is giving you wickets, where you have a Shami who typically bowl 3 overs up front, then Rashid is not needed up front. You can hold him back. And the longer he holds him back, the better it is for him, because Rashid can be a handful to those who are not specialist batters. And I think they are blessed to have a bowling unit like they do, where they can hold him back till halfway past the innings and then use
Right.
him in the later half. And to say that he is gifted is to state the obvious. But every time you watch him bowl, every time you see Rashid Khan perform, you actually want a little bit more. Instead of impact player role, they should give a couple of overs extra to Rashid Khan.
That would be a nightmare for the opposition team. But at the same time, Abhishek Purel got a taste of what world class bowling is. First ball, he tried to step out and hit him through the mid wicket region. But Rashid Khan, being Rashid Khan, he just slipped one between his bat and pad, and that's I call him the kingpin of T20 bowling for a reason.
Shubhain, after this
Yes,
show,
sir.
please speak about this want that we want Rashid Khan to play bowl extra 2 overs.
I would get calls from a couple of teams for sure. What are you tweeting? Are you drunk?
Zubair, I'm telling you that this is what being an incurable cricket romantic does. You want a little
Yeah,
bit more of something that is magical on a track
absolutely,
which did not really offer spin bowlers much help. He was wonderful, wasn't he? But it's always a joy to
absolutely.
watch Rashid Khan. It's always exciting to see what new stuff he's going to come up with. But there are some leg spinners. Ravi Bishnoi is one that springs to mind
Hmm.
quickly from last night, who have perhaps taken a leaf out of his book. And I think that is what IPL does. It allows others to see how some of these world class bowlers operate. It allows the others to see how world class batters prepare for a knock, how they pace themselves. Look at David
Right.
Miller tonight. Outstanding effort, coming in
Yep.
late. Uh, and I think the word jet lag doesn't exist, does it? Both for him and for Nokia. For neither of them, jet lag seemed to be a matter of debate. Both of them plunged into the thick of action straight away.
And again, talking about David Miller, Mukesh Kumar got a taste of what world class batting is. That shot over long on, he just pulled him from the wide tram line straight to long on, and that was a shot which Bhojpuri commentary at least enjoyed completely.
Shubhain, I saw this match today in Bhojpuri commentary after you said, and really enjoyed it, man. And
Full
Bharat,
paisa
coming to
vasool, popcorn.
No,
yeah.
but you watch the cricket on mute, उससे ज्यादा पैसा वसूल होगा आपको. Because
I do that. I do that during test matches.
yeah. No, it's important. Each one of us should find a way to enjoy the game. Um,
Yeah.
this is hardcore cricket. A lot of people think this is tamasha, but this is
Hmm.
exciting contest between bat and ball. This is
Right.
fascinating. Everything is shrunk in 40 overs. It's wonderful to watch the cricket and the little contest within that. Shubhain, you will remember that I spoke to you about Nokia
Mhm.
versus Shubman Gill, and we all know what happened there.
Oh, and that Nokia. Bharat has been constantly tweeting about Nokia and how he missed the Nokia versus Mark Wood battle in the last game between the LSG and DC. But Andik Nokia, Mark Wood, two of my favorite pacers at the moment. The way they
And
bowl, the intensity they bring to the table is different.
अरे
and
you
he
are
was
making
bowling
घर की
Not
मुर्गी दाल बराबर. You are making घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर. how brilliantly Shami was bowling today.
Oh, well, Shami is a world class bowler. But Joydeep Mukherjee, who is in the DC dugout right now, we had a long chat of the kind of the quality of pace bowlers. There are extremely super quality, and we had Mohammad Shami in our top three most skillful bowlers around the world. He's absolutely brilliant.
And I
And
really love
since 2019, just to add on to the stats, since 2020, Mohammad Shami has picked up the most power play wickets in IPL.
okay. And and I really love to see his scene position, and so brilliant to watch. Watched him one time in Mohun Bagan's match, I think in the CAB League. It was fantastic to see him play. And Bharat, coming to you, uh, as Shubhan was telling about Abhishek Porel, your thoughts on Abhishek Porel's performance today? Important 20 runs of 11, two sixes, and how do you see his wicket keeping? Because this his wicket keeping has been a point of discussion. Uh, your thoughts on
Whatever
Abhishek?
I've seen of him in domestic cricket is a lively cricketer. Even in relation to wicket keeping or his batting, he's someone lively behind the stumps. That's what we saw today. Even the catch that he tried to take, I guess it was
Hmm.
Sudarshan or someone left-hander tried to just
Sudarshan, yeah.
knock one around the corner and he almost got it. It's someone that's what you expect of him as a wicketkeeper, and even as a batter, he showed some promise. Obviously, he had a harsh lesson when he came down the track, whatever is Rashid, and he had a harsh
You
lesson, but
don't do that
that
against
was
Rashid.
that would serve him well actually in the future as well. So yes, it's promising debut in IPL. Hopefully, you would see more of him.
But I'm sure, Shubhain, everybody who has ever picked up a bat has had dreams
Hmm.
of stepping out to Rashid Khan and hitting him for six. So you can't blame the young
A
man.
certain guy who was on his crutches, sitting in the pavilion, he had once absolutely hammered Rashid Khan, and stepped out 3 or 4 times in his couple of overs he faced, and that is Rishabh Pant, who is missing this season due to an unfortunate injury and accident. But we wish him all the best and speedy recovery, so that we can see him again in the ground very soon. But coming to yes, Rohan, please.
As you say about Rishabh Pant sitting at the stands, I think that's also plays on the batter's mind that I'm playing at his place. I need to prove something, and he's a young guy. I think that's also a bit of extra motivation to step out and hit Rashid Khan.
No, Rohan. I think if they start worrying about who's in the stands and who's cheering
Yeah.
for them, then you lose focus. You
Yeah,
got to keep the mind
Instincts
on the
will go.
ball. You got to focus on what the team situation is, and then play
mm,
according to it. But if any of these kids is thinking, oh, I've got to take over the role of Rishabh Pant and play like him and show that the team is not missing him, then he's making a huge mistake. I don't think
Hmm.
Porel did that. He played what he believed was necessary to
mm,
get the score going a little bit because
Right.
they were coming back. I think he played a smart little cameo. He would have
mm.
Hmm.
wanted to play a little longer. It would have been fun to see him play a few more deliveries and then get to about 35 or 40. Would be exciting to see, particularly because he's a left-hander.
Right. Right, and he's as I said in the pre-show also, he might look a bit raw right now, but he's a fantastic talent. Some of his pull shots are a treat to watch. I've watched him for long now, and he's a good talent. He's someone we'll see play at a higher level for long. For long, he has that potential. But coming to our Delhi Capitals, Gujarat Titans batting, Sai Sudarshan, we talked a bit about him in our pre-show, Rajaraman, and he took up that number three role after Gujarat missed out Kane Williamson. By the way, Kane Williamson has been replaced by Sri Lankan limited overs captain Dasun Shanaka. But Sai Sudarshan, 62 unbeaten of 48, one of the best knocks so far in this tournament.
But definitely a smart one. There have
Yeah,
been better knocks. There have been better knocks. We saw Shubman Gill
in
play
this
really
season, yeah.
in that
So yeah.
opening match. There have been
Yeah,
some good knocks. It is all shrunken. This is what the seventh game. We've seen so many good efforts,
I
both with the
completely forgot about Virat Kohli's 82.
no, it happens. I don't blame you.
Yeah,
But apart from KKR, which is still finding its feet, I think most teams have got somebody or the other playing really well for them. Even KKR has had a good knock for them, but it's
Yes.
early days. I think people teams need to pace themselves, and someone like a Sai Sudarshan used a lot of head rather than heart. I think that is where he stood out. His temperament, backed by his technique, I think both of that came in together, and Gujarat was really well served by that. You see, they made this change. They kept Vijay Shankar out, and then smartly got Vijay Shankar as an impact player.
Impact.
Right? So they swapped their roles from the last game, uh, but this time Vijay Shankar came in, played a very useful knock, and I
Yeah.
think this is
Yep.
where Gujarat think tank, whether it is the captain, whether it is the coach, whether it is Gary Kirsten, whether it's Ashish Nehra, whoever it is, has been making some really smart decisions, and that has paid off for them to be so successful with chases, to be so successful in winning so many games, set them as one of the favorites again to get to the playoff. We don't know about what can happen in the playoff, but they look very good to get to the playoff. Early days, we'll have to wait and watch.
And during the mid innings, one of the mid innings in interview, Ashish Kapoor was being interviewed, and he was asked, "What are you doing, guys, doing differently?" He said, "We are doing nothing differently. No one rated us in the last season. We went on to win the championship. No one is rating us this season. We are preparing ourselves to win it again. So let's see what Gujarat Titans can do in this season. But that's a perfect start for them, 2 out of 2." Yes, Ron.
And exactly, Shubhan. And as Rajaman sir said about Vijay Shankar, I was going to ask about Vijay Shankar's and Sai Sudarshan partnership. GT were three down in the power play, and then that important 56 or 60 runs partnership. How important was that partnership, Bharat?
Yeah, it is an important one, obviously. As we have already noted, the track was staying a touch low, so they needed a couple of batters who gauged the conditions nicely, and obviously uh, they didn't need to go all out attack at that time. They just needed a partnership, and those two provided it. Shankar is someone who has a lot of talent. He has had injury problems, but yeah, I don't think he has fulfilled his potential. He's a clean striker of the ball. When I seen him do it for India A during the tour of New Zealand, that he can strike the ball really cleanly, but he's not fulfilled his potential today. Showed glimpses of it. You played useful knock, and Sai Sudarshan is someone who seems to know uh, when to attack, which bowler to attack. He can play the pull shot as well while playing fast bowling. So he seems to have the all-round game, and it was a very smart knock. Uh, Batting smarts were really good.
That's an important point. My final question to finish this session to Rajaraman. Delhi Capitals, they look like a good squad. I still feel they are a good squad. But what should they do to make a comeback? Some changes or something else in their lineup? Little tweaks. What should they do to make a comeback? Because if you go on to lose another two, then you might be staring at a really long winning streak if you want to make it to a playoff.
I think they have to be a little smarter with their cricket, smarter with David Warner, smarter with his captaincy. Uh, Look at this. Akshar Patel didn't bowl a single over, did he, tonight?
Yeah.
You would have expected on a Delhi track at least an over or two of Akshar Patel. Apparently, he
Hmm.
justified the fact that he had Mitch Marsh to bowl a few overs and that he expected Kuldeep Yadav to do the magic. But when you've got a spinner of the quality of Akshar Patel, someone who can fire the ball in, tie the batsman down, you would have expected David Warner to use a few overs, if not all four, at least a couple of overs of Akshar Patel. So maybe they need
Hmm.
to perk up the captaincy just that bit, use the resources at their disposal slightly better. They've got Nokia. You can build the whole attack around him, and then
Right.
ensure that he gets the right kind of support so that they batters don't have to chase big scores, or they have scores which the bowlers can defend. I think it's critical for them to use the resources better than they are doing at this point of
Even Kuldeep bowled only 3 overs and conceded 18. So maybe one over could have been given to him there. But I think that's a good note to end this session. We'll be again back tomorrow because IPL is a continuous tournament. We'll be back with Rajasthan Royals versus Punjab Kings, a mouth-watering contest at Rajasthan's second home, that is Guwahati. So let's see what Guwahati has to offer us, a high-scoring one or a low-scoring thriller or a one-sided affair. We'll be back again at We'll be back at 7 o'clock to discuss what to expect from the match, analyze and
We'll be
But
back at 9.
Ron is pointing out he's got a show at
9 a.m. 9,
So you better
9 a.m. is the teeing off. Yeah.
And tomorrow's 9 a.m. will be interesting because East Bengal are having the much awaited announcement of Sergio Lovera. So we'll discuss that.
1.7 crore is what I am hearing, but 1.7 crore is the fee what I am hearing of Lovera, but let's see. We'll wait for that for the teeing off show with Rohan Chaudhary at 9 o'clock, and then we'll discuss the IPL wholeheartedly at 7 o'clock, and then again the post match show, and again we'll repeat the schedule the next day. So yes, it's a long tournament. Only a few matches have been played, but a lot of action to be to be seen. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Rajaraman, for joining. We'll be back again tomorrow. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
have
Good
a
night.
good night and sleep well.
Good night.